Welcome to the Watchmen Podcast, where we're talking about Watchmen and Watchmen. Today we're talking about Adrian and if he was morally right. Now, for our first question, we had what was it that Adrian did that was morally questionable? Well, Adrian wanted to have the world not go into nuclear warfare, so he created a monster that he then teleported into New York, which then destroyed like half of New York. And this was all because he wanted to not have a nuclear war start.
And we got to talk about the reason behind it. The world was obviously on the brink of destruction due to the tensions of like the Cold War. This caused Adrian to believe that the world was going to get blown to smithereens by nuclear war. Because of this, he thought up of a plan to create a monster that would cause enough commotion that it would like halt the nuclear tension and create a time of peace. He did with the hope that less people would be harmed by his actions than from the impending nuclear war, and this was all seen on page 10, panel 5 of the last chapter.
Now, what were the costs of what Adrian did? Well, he teleported a monster into the middle of New York and killed 3 million people. So, that's one big cost. Also, like half the city got destroyed. This can be seen on page 19, panel 6. Another thing that happened was Rorschach got blown to smithereens by Dr. Manhattan because he wasn't going to keep the secret of Adrian doing all that. Which, if he did keep the secret, the nuclear war probably would have happened again. Uh, the mask all left the rest of this scratch that. The piece that Adrian created was built off of fear that an alien invasion was going to happen. The world was now has to live with this.
What is the cost if Adrian never carried out this plan? If Adrian had never carried out the plan, the humanity would probably end because the nuclear tensions were escalating so much with no signs of stopping that if the war happened, more than millions of people, probably billions of people would die and would most likely bring the world into like an uninhabitability in many regions.
Now, could an act of terrorism ever be justified? From a moral standpoint, death is not a good thing, and acts of terrorism are really bad. For some people, the reason behind the act of terrorism outweighs the actual act itself. So you could say that Adrian was in the right for the reason he did it instead of the fact that he actually just did mass terrorism.
Um, was he justified in what he did? Well, the world was about to go into nuclear war, killing most, if not the entire world population. And so, in Adrian's eyes, the death of millions of people, which is a lot less than billions of people, was mostly justified. This can be left up to the reader to be interpreted, but it is hard to kind of tell whether it's justified or not.
Would it be more immoral to not carry out this plan? Well, this reminds me of a little thing called the trolley problem, which is the thought experiment where you got a trolley and you have a lever. If you pull the lever, the trolley goes one direction and kills one person, but if you don't pull the lever, it just goes forward and kills two people. The idea of this is that do you kill the one person but you have the blood on your hands because you caused that, or do you do nothing and let the two people die? Well, this was similar to the situation that Adrian was in, to where should he kill the 3 million people but save billions of people because of it, or should he do nothing and let billions die from something he knew was going to happen?
Were the mask in the right for trying to stop him? Before they got like the big picture and the truth behind Adrian's plan, they had a reason to stop him because the death of millions of people is inherently wrong and is really bad. And this is seen with Rorschach and how even after learning about the plan, he did not want the death of millions of innocent people. and that's what brought him to his death. They didn't really know the plan, and therefore could not act accordingly to the plan.
Does Adrian believe that he did the right thing? Well, in the end of the chapter, Adrian is talking to Dr. Manhattan and asks the question, I did the right thing, didn't I? In page 7 of panel or page 27 of panel 4. Uh this question shows that Adrian still has doubts in his mind that he actually did the morally right thing, and he's hoping that asking Dr. Manhattan would show him the truth, but he never Dr. Manhattan never truly tells him if he did the right thing.
Do we think he was right or wrong? I believe that he was right for what he did, since the cost of 3 million people is far less than the cost of the nuclear war, which would have probably wiped out most of humanity. But it might be a little wrong for the fact that he didn't know for sure that nuclear war was going to happen, and he could have just killed those 3 million people for no reason, but he did kind of have a justifiable reason for doing so.
Well, that's it for the Watchmen podcast. Uh,
Thanks for
tune in
watching.
tomorrow for more Watchmen, 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 and Watchmen.